My father's fist shattered the dining room mirror the night I decided he'd never see me again. At 16, I stood frozen, shards glinting like stars on the floor. My mother's sobs a haunting soundtrack to his rage. 3 years later, I thought I'd buried that life until a stranger's car parked across my street, watching me, proving some ghosts don't stay dead. My name is Lily Harper, and this is how I learned freedom comes with a price. At 18, I'd built a new life in a quiet college town, a place where the trees whispered peace and the coffee shop barista knew my order by heart. My dorm room was my sanctuary, walls plastered with sketches of forests and stars, each drawing a step toward healing. I'd cut contact with my parents after that night, the restraining order against Dad, my final act of rebellion. He'd always been a storm charming one moment, a tornado of control the next. Mom was his shadow, too fragile to leave, too broken to protect me. I didn't hate her, but I couldn't save her. The court papers were my ticket out, and I ran without looking back. Now, at 21, I was a junior studying art, with a part-time job at a bookstore and a best friend, Mia, who made me laugh until my sides ached. Life felt like it could finally be mine, but that illusion cracked the day I noticed the black sedan. It was parked across from my dorm, tinted windows hiding the driver. At first, I thought it was a coincidence, maybe a parent waiting for a student, but it appeared again the next day, and the day after that. By the fourth day, my stomach churned with a familiar dread, the kind I'd felt when Dad's footsteps thundered down the hall. I told Mia, who laughed it off, saying I'd watched too many thrillers. "Lily, you're paranoid," she teased, tossing her braid. "It's probably just some creep with a crush." But her words didn't calm the prickle on my neck. I started varying my routes to class, avoiding the sedan, but it was always there, a shadow I couldn't shake. One evening, as I locked up the bookstore, a man approached me. He was in his 40s, with a trench coat and eyes that seemed to see through me. "Lily Harper," he asked, voice smooth but cold. My heart stopped. I nodded, gripping my keys like a weapon. "I'm Jack Riley, private investigator," he said, handing me a card. "Your father hired me. He wants to talk." The world tilted. 3 years of silence, 3 years of building a life without him. And now this. I wanted to scream, to throw the card in his face, but my voice came out small. "I have a restraining order. He can't contact me." Jack's lips twitched, not quite a smile. "He's not breaking any laws." "Lily, I am, and I'm good at my job." He walked away, leaving me trembling under the streetlight. That night, I didn't sleep. My mind raced, replaying Jack's words, Dad's anger, Mom's tears. Why now? What did Dad want? I called Mia, who came over with pizza and a fierce determination to fix this. We searched Jack Riley online, finding his website a slick page boasting discreet services for family disputes. My gut twisted. Discreet meant dangerous. Mia urged me to call the police, but what could I say? A car parked legally. A man handed me a card. The restraining order felt like paper armor against a man like Dad, who always found a way. Still, I filed a report the next day, my voice shaking as I explained to a board officer. He promised to look into it, but his eyes said I was overreacting. Days turned into weeks, and Jack's presence grew bolder. He'd sit in the coffee shop, watching me sketch. He'd linger outside my classes, his gaze a weight I couldn't ignore. I stopped going out alone, my world shrinking to dorm, bookstore, and classes. Mia became my shadow, her jokes replaced by worry. "Lily, you can't let this guy ruin your life," she said one night, her voice sharp. "Fight back." But how do you fight a ghost? I started digging into Dad's life, something I'd avoided for years. Social media showed he'd lost his job, his charm failing to mask his temper. Mom's pages were silent, her last post a blurry photo of a sunset. I wondered if she was still with him, still trapped. Then came the letter. It arrived in my dorm mailbox. No return address, just my name in Dad's jagged handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. Lily, I'm sorry. I've changed. Let me see you. Please. The words felt like a trap, each syllable laced with the control I'd fled. I burned the letter in the dorm sink, the smoke curling like my fear. But it wasn't enough. Jack's car was back the next day, closer now, parked right outside my window. I called the police again, but they found nothing, no proof Dad had sent Jack, no violation of the restraining order. He's smart, the officer said, almost admiringly. He's staying just outside the law. I couldn't live like this. The fear was a weight, crushing my art, my sleep, my life. Mia suggested a lawyer, but I had no money for one. Instead, I decided to confront Jack. It was reckless, but I was done being prey. I found him at the coffee shop, sipping black coffee like he owned the place. I slid into the booth across from him, my heart pounding. What does he want? I demanded. Jack leaned back, studying me. Your father misses you, Lily. He's sick, needs family. He's not the man you remember. I laughed, bitter and sharp. You don't know him. He breaks everything he touches. Jack's eyes softened, just for a moment. Maybe. But he's paying me to find you, and I always deliver. That night, I packed a bag. I couldn't stay. Not with Jack closing in. Not with Dad's shadow looming. Mia begged me to stay, tears in her eyes. You're letting him win, she said. But I wasn't running from Dad. I was running toward answers. I took a bus to my hometown, a place I'd sworn never to return. The house looked smaller, the paint peeling, the yard overgrown. Mom answered the door, her face thinner, her eyes hollow. Lily, she whispered, like I was a ghost. I didn't hug her. I couldn't. Where's Dad? I asked. She flinched, pointing to the living room. He was there, older, grayer, but still him, still the man who'd shattered my world. Lily, he said, standing, his voice softer than I remembered. I just want to talk. I didn't trust it. Didn't trust the tears in his eyes. You hired a stalker. I spat. You don't get to play victim. He sank into his chair, hands shaking. I'm dying. Lily, cancer. I just wanted to see you before. His voice broke, but I felt nothing. Or maybe I felt too much anger, betrayal, a flicker of pity I hated myself for. Mom hovered, silent, always silent. I wanted to scream at her, at him, at the years stolen from me. Instead, I asked, why now? Why not leave me alone? He looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something like regret. Because you're my daughter, he said, and I failed you. I didn't stay. I couldn't. I left them there, in that house of broken mirrors, and took the bus back. Jack's car was gone when I returned. Maybe Dad had called him off, or maybe he'd gotten what he wanted. I didn't care. I sat in my dorm, sketching the house, the storm, the past I couldn't erase. The drawing was dark, jagged, but at its center was a figure me, standing tall. I wasn't free, not yet, but I was fighting, and that was enough. What would you do if your past came back to haunt you? Was I right to walk away, or should I have given him a chance? Share your thoughts. I want to hear them.